Today, we're gonna get rid of some rust. One of the great things about getting used tools is you can score a major deal. Check out the video I just released about buying tools at auction, as well as the video I talked about negotiating tools on Craigslist. Nothing in my shop was bought new. Everything was bought used, and I've gotten incredible deals on everything, including this planer I just got for $800 that we found on eBay for 9 grand. I also got this drill press at the auction for only 250 bucks and found it on eBay for 1,500. One of the biggest questions I got when I was posting pictures of them on Instagram and my Instagram story was, are you worried about the rust? And honestly, no. It's so incredibly cheap. You can do it with basic household items like I did on this planer. You'll see here, I'll put a picture here on the screen. It was really rusty, and with about 10 minutes of work, I got it perfectly brand new again. So let me show you how I do it. When you're doing this, you really only need a few basic household items. A brass or steel brush, either one's fine. It'll maybe scratch cast iron a little bit, but then you're gonna sand it, so it doesn't matter. I have never left scratches using these types of brushes. You're gonna need white distilled vinegar. That's the most important part. You're gonna mix that 1-to-1 with water. I like to do. It doesn't really matter. The ratio's up to you. I feel like if you do a complete vinegar, the smell is just awful, but if you do too little, it takes forever to do. Some sandpaper, some paper towels, and a random orbital sander. I like to use 220 or higher because you really don't want to change the geometry of it. You just want to kind of get the remaining stuff when you're done. And I just start off by getting kind of the loose stuff off. And you definitely want to be wearing a dust mask when you're doing this because rust is not that fun to breathe in. But I just get kind of the basic stuff off, and then I'll vacuum this up. Okay, and then you're just gonna go ahead and spray it liberally with vinegar and water. You wanna make sure you soak the surface. No thing is too much here. You just wanna make sure that it's not dripping off onto something you don't want it to get on. And then you just wanna let that sit for about 10 minutes. So you're just gonna give it a vigorous scrubbing with your wire brush. And you can do as many applications as you want of vinegar and water until you feel comfortable, but I usually find that one is sufficient. And the one thing you want is to just make sure it doesn't dry while you're doing this. So if it starts to dry, you can reapply. Go ahead and just wipe it down, and you can see what a difference that's already made. And you'll notice that sometimes there'll be a little bit of residue when you wipe it and dry it. That's fine. It'll come off when you sand, but again, if you feel like you need to make another application, it's real easy to do. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and give it a light sanding. You can see now that it's dried, you can see like a rusty sort of film on it. That's gonna come off really easily with the sander. You really want to make sure you're using a vacuum and a respirator when you're doing this because obviously rust is not a good thing to inhale. Okay, and then as you can see, that worked incredible. And you know, when it comes to cast iron, a sander's never gonna ruin the flatness of it. People always ask me, aren't you worried it's gonna ruin the flatness? But there's no chance. You can still see all the original mill marks from when this was made, and there's just no way that a 220 grit sander is gonna get through that. So the last step, put a little paste wax on there. That'll keep it from rusting again. Apply it liberally and wipe off. You can repeat this every few months. Just add some paste wax. So that's really all there is to it. Just a couple bucks worth of materials, and 10 minutes of your time, you can take rust off just about everything. Guys, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you're new here. Stay safe in the shop and have a wonderful day.